Jordan Ashburn sits atop the point standings as we enter round number 11. Can today be the day he wraps up the national championship? Or, like last race, will Stu Baylor play spoiler? GNCC on MAV TV starts now.
Are you ready to go? GNCC Racing!
Well, hello and welcome to round number 11. We are here in Millfield, Ohio for the Canati Tires Burr Oak GNCC, presented by Specialized and AMA National Championship. Mikey Wayne's here, and I'll be taking you through today's racing action. And as always, we begin with the Specialized race recap. Ricky Towery with the waving of the green flag. And round number 10, and we are off and rolling. Round number 10, solid race. What a start. Look at that. Jordan Ashburn getting a little sideways, and the Coastal Racing gas ride of Ricky Russell says, I'll take that whole shot in the early lead into the woods. Saw some great riding by that man right there, the 212 Coastal Racing Factory gas ride of Ricky Russell. He had a little mishap, though. We'll get to that in a moment. I believe it is going to be included in our Specialized race recap. Can't imagine it not being. Saw some great riding out of a number of guys who making their way back to the GNCC ranks. That Vol had a good day. It was great to see him out there battling with everybody. And here we go. Oh, here we are in the pits with Ricky Russell. Keep your eyes on the IMS quick fill. That fuel level, not moving. That is not a good thing. Now, I got to say, during the live broadcast, they're so fixated on seeing it business as usual in the pits that we didn't even notice it at first. Maybe you did at home. We didn't. We ended up looking at a replay during the live broadcast, caught it. That and a few other woes for Ricky late in this one ended up making the difference. Wasn't able to go out and grab the win. The man who pushed his way out front, Stu Baylor. 514 Ampro Yamaha of Stu Baylor, returning to his winning ways, doing it for the fans. Who needs a rear fender? Stu Baylor doesn't need a rear. Well, he does need a rear fender. Let's be honest. We had a chance to catch up with Stu after the race.
Yeah, you know, we had a really rough first lap. We made a tire choice that I was really concerned about after the first two laps. You know, we had some fresh stuff out there for our race, and it just wasn't down to that hard base yet, and I swear I couldn't keep it on two wheels. I crashed 4 or 5 times, pretty good ones on the first two laps, and finally the track polished off, and the tire became the right call. You know, it's the same tire we've won the last 3 years here consecutively. So, you know, I knew it was good. I was just second guessing it with the little bit of rain we haven't seen in the past here. So, once we found our groove, you know, I got hooked up with Johnny, and before the race, Johnny and I were bullshitting, and we were like, hey man, 1 and 2 overall today, and he just came through, so it looked like he dropped back a little bit, but you know, I was hoping we could run right to the front, and you know, finally I got some clear air and got in a train, and happened really quick. I got a pit board minus 20, minus 15, and then I was on them at the rock garden, and it looked like Ricky got really tired. Man, this track was extremely physically demanding, but you know, when you're in the shape that I'm in, it's a walk in the park out there.
Well, Stu Baylor again grabbed the win. Ashburn finished second, and Thad Duvall, what a ride by him, rounded out the top 3. But we fast forward to today, and Jordan Ashburn sits poised and ready to capture his first title, just 5 points away from sealing the deal on the 2022 championship.
So going into the last 3 here, we need 5 points to clinch the championship, and you know, we're just going to go out here and do like we do every race, not change anything up, and try to get on the podium. And if a win presents itself, we're gonna try to take it. So yeah, rather consistent today, and the track's going to be slippery, and the pin section's tough. So conditions are good though, so pretty excited about it and looking forward.
Well, here we go. 3 hours of racing here at the Burr Oak GNCC. And Ricky Towery with the waving of the green flag, and we are off and rolling for the XC1 Pro Class. Jockeying for position out there. Oh, it looks like, yes, it's going to be Jordan Ashburn grabbing the whole shot in the early lead. Thad Duvall right there. Ricky Russell right there. Or no, excuse me, that would be Grant Baylor. So Grant Baylor, solid start. Ashburn out front. Thad Duvall and that Rockstar Husky in the 2 spot. Grant Baylor third. I believe that was Ricky Russell in the 4 spot. And, Stu Baylor right back there behind him as things inch a little closer there. Craig DeLong and Josh Toth toward the back of the pack. And how about it, man? There is a man right there. Jordan Ashburn, Magna 1 Motorsports Husky, already putting a gap on these guys. There goes Grant Baylor in the 2 spot. Baylor around Thad Duvall. Oh, no Thad. There goes Ricky Russell. There is Thad. So Thad, maybe a little mistake, maybe a little get off. Falls back a couple of positions, but still right there in the fight, as is the rest of the XC1. As we turn our attention now, I believe, yes, here we go. The XC2 Pro-Am class. Jockeying for position. Who wants it? A stacked Pro-Am class this year. And that's Gus Reardon, the 35 KTM out front, grabs a whole shot in the early lead. Mike Wachowski's there with him, as well as Johnny Gerard. Gerard has been a man on fire since he's come back off an injury. He's won his last 2 rounds. Can he make it 3 in a row here today? Gus Reardon, man, Gus, he could really use. Now, he's had some podiums this year, not taking anything away from him, but I feel as though he would agree he wants to be a more consistent podium finisher, and that win has eluded him. Can he pick up a win here today, his first in the XC2 class here this season? Only time will tell. 3 hours to get the job done, but nonetheless, great start by Gus. There he is, the 35 KTM on the move. Got a small gap between him and the 2 spot. Again, Johnny Gerard, Mike Wachowski, Cody Barnes, another heavy hitter in the class. XC2 always puts on a show for the folks, but nonetheless, it is a stacked one. Boy, not a great start for Liam Draper. Used to seeing him having a better start than this. Matter of fact, guy loves grabbing those hole shots, but let's see what he can do before it's all said and done. Here we go, the FMF XC3 125 Pro-Am class. Jockeying for position. Who wants it? That's going to be the 393. Going out and grabbing the whole shot in the early lead in this one, the Yamaha ride. And here we go with our leaders. Jordan Ashburn out in front. What a great start for him, my goodness. Ashburn riding like a man with a championship on the line. Pretty impressive stuff. Duvall second, Baylor third, Russell fourth, and Baylor rounding out that top 5. Jordan Ashburn, sights set on a national title. We'll be back with more after this.
Coverage of the Grand National Cross Country Championship on MAV TV is brought to you in part by Specialized E-Turbo Bikes. It's you, only faster. And by RockyMountainATVMC.com. Get ready.
Welcome back to GNCC here on MAV TV. Jordan Ashburn, the Magna 1 Motorsports Husqvarna, trying to seal the deal in this 2022 championship campaign. The 212 Coastal Racing Factory gas ride, Ricky Russell in the 2 spot. How about it for the gas ride of Grant Baylor sitting in third? Great start for him. Thad Duvall and the rest of the boys going to work, trying to make something happen. Toth at the back of that pack, the 206 KTM, Factory Racing KTM. Woo! If that doesn't let you know just how tough some of this terrain is, our riders at GNCC face. Little dab right there. And how about it? Grant up into the 2 spot around Thad. Russell back in the 4 position. And there goes Stu Baylor, followed by Josh Toth and Craig DeLong just behind Toth. So still very tight in the XC1. Ashburn, the Magna 1 Motorsports ride, sitting in the 2 spot. Now Ricky Russell up into second. So a lot of things happening. Looks like these guys trying to separate themselves from the rest of the pack. Let's see who's coming through in the 3 spot. Is that going to be Thad? Yes, the 989 of Thad Duvall. Oh, how about it? Get you some. There goes. So Grant Baylor's dropped a couple of spots. Josh Toth just behind Baylor. So got to think Grant Baylor maybe a little mistake in there somewhere. So some trouble for him. As here comes Jordan Ashburn, the Magna One Motorsports Husqvarna. Again, he's a big story coming into this one, sitting just 5 points away from capturing a championship here at GNCC. Thad Duvall back in 4th. Craig, his teammate, the Rockstar Energy Husqvarna, running out that top 5. And now Stu Baylor, maybe some troubles early on, falling back in the pack a little bit. He's finally caught up with that big group of XC1 riders. Let's see what he's got in store for these guys. And here we go. Ashburn out front. Russell in the 2 spot. Russell trying to inch his way and get up in the fight with Jordan Ashburn. As our cameras got time to pan back and find the Grizzly Grant Baylor. Baylor got some company. So Baylor's got his hands full. The Rockstar Husky riders rolling through. Josh Toth. And waiting on, as goes Craig DeLong, waiting on Stu Baylor. There he is. So Stu Baylor goes through. So some troubles for Stu. Maybe not feeling comfortable on the machine, feeling things out, not 100% sure, but we know Stu, man. He knows it's 3 hours. He'll be patient until it's time not to be patient, and then he will push to the front. So that is Craig DeLong right there, I believe, in the 2 spot. So I may have had those guys flip-flopped between, and there goes Josh Toth. So unless we miss some guys, there goes Grant Baylor. Okay, so things mixing up again. There is Thad Duvall. There is Stu Baylor. And there is Ricky Russell. So, boy, Ricky Russell, no rips on the jersey or anything, but obviously a mistake for the Coastal Racing Gas ride. And Jordan Ashburn, a little checkup from the neck up as he sees Craig DeLong. Now, DeLong, got to hand it to him. He has been the rider, I mean, mathematically, he is the only guy left with a chance as DeLong takes fuel. So DeLong, pit strategy. Here we go. And Ashburn took fuel as well. And so did Toth. So there you go. Pit strategy. All your top 3 riders are going to come in, get a splash of fuel, get a fresh set of goggles, and go back to work. Baylor into the Ampro Yamaha pits. Russell into the factory racing gas pits. And it is absolute pandemonium. And VP Racing Fuels Pro Row. I got to tell you, man, if you've ever been down there and experienced a fuel stop at a GNCC, it is second to none. I challenge you. F1, IndyCar, NASCAR, let's go. GNCC might have you beat. I know, apples and oranges for the passive fans out there. Apples and oranges, we understand. To each their own. It's all impressive. Impressive ride by Toth as well. The 206 Factory Racing KTM. Red Bull KTM sitting there in a podium position. The Grizzly Grant back to work in the 4 spot. And Thad and Stu behind him, as well as Ricky Russell, the Factory Racing Gas ride. Mistake early on by Russell. I don't know, you cannot count out Ricky Russell. You cannot count out really either of the Baylors, Stu or Grant. Flip a coin. They're both tough, and they're diesels, man. It takes a little bit for them to get warmed up, but once they do, look out, the freight train's coming. Grant Baylor right there on screen, looking good. Looking good is Grant Baylor. And I don't know, just there's something about, there is Thad Duvall. There's something about Stu. I don't know if you're just not comfortable on the machine, but just something going on throughout this race. We'll see as we get down to the nitty-gritty, but right now, Jordan Ashburn is doing what he needs to do. Now, Ashburn, as we've already mentioned, is pretty well just needs a good finish. I believe it's 5 points he needs, and then mathematically nobody can catch him as far as the point standings are concerned. Big question, can he win a race? Well, he silenced any naysayers at Snowshoe. He picked up his first XC1 overall win, and with the championship on the line, let's not count our chickens before they hatch. Ooh, little mistake right there. How is it going to cost him a position? Oh, yes it is. Josh Toth makes a pass on DeLong, and it's bad news for Stu Baylor fans. And this might be the answer to our questions. The shirt or the jersey's ripped, and it's Baylor back to the Ambro pits.
Yeah, so he looks like he tacoed his wheel. He said he's not sure what he hit, but at this point for Stu, he says it's more risk than reward for him. He says he's about a minute off the podium as it is, and after this happens, he'd be 2 minutes off. He said more risk than reward for him, and he's not in the points, so he's going to set it out.
Coverage of the Grand National Cross Country Championship on MAV TV is brought to you in part by Specialized E-Turbo Bikes. It's you, only faster. And by RockyMountainATVMC.com. Get ready.
All right, here we go. New leader. The 3-4-2 Rockstar Energy Husqvarna of Craig DeLong out in front. Where is Jordan Ashburn? Donde está the number 3 Magna 1 Motorsports Husqvarna? There he is. And he doesn't need the win. Maybe he settled into race pace. Nonetheless, the only man left on the track with a mathematical chance to beat Jordan Ashburn for the title. His name is Craig DeLong, and he sits out front. Doesn't have a lot of way to go, but still has to seal the deal and make it happen. And Craig DeLong has really progressed in his pro career this season. Seen some great things out of him, and I think we're getting to that point. Jordan Ashburn, got to get around some lap traffic, but we're getting to that point here where Craig DeLong, enough about talking about podiums. Podiums are one thing for Craig. He's capable of podiums. He's proved that. But I think it's time for Craig to start being in the conversation for race wins. Is that this season? Well, maybe it is here today. Got a great lead on the man with the points lead on the season, Jordan Ashburn in the 2 spot. Now, plenty of racing left. We'll have to see how it plays out. But nonetheless, Craig DeLong, and I think if you asked him, his sentiments would be the same. It's time to start clicking off some wins. It maybe not clicking off wins, but battling for wins. That's what we're seeing right here on screen right now at the Burr GNCC. Craig DeLong is a man. He's a grown man out there doing grown man things, leading the Burr GNCC, and that is some pressure. And there's a man with pressure on him. He's got the reverse plate. That tells us he's the points leader. He's poised. He wants to win this national title. Mr. Consistency trying to get it done, and he's going to work. Ashburn is closing in on the heels of Craig DeLong. Here we go. Oh, and it is. Okay, so it's Ashburn around DeLong. So at a glance, the sun hit it just right. I thought it was Ashburn closing in on DeLong. No, Ashburn's around DeLong. Now DeLong's got to go to work. Now this is the test. This is what you want if you're Craig DeLong. You're right there with Ashburn. It's not going to be enough. Ashburn comes in. One more turn to go, and he'll take the checkered flag, and he'll take the national championship. What a ride by the Magna 1 Motorsports Husqvarna of Jordan Ashburn. Cool, calm, and collected as his wife, Mary, is there to greet him, his mechanic, Andy. It is popping bottles time for Jordan Ashburn, and there is Craig DeLong, the good sportsmanship right there as Craig checks in the 2 spot. But this man, and just would you expect any, there's the smile. There we go, Jordan Ashburn, the fist in the air, and a sigh of relief. Chris Landers coming to greet his rider, and here we go.
I appreciate it, man. Yeah. Woo! What a day. I mean, put myself in a good position early on, got the whole shot, and just kind of led some laps, and we got past there at the second pit, but man, I just tried to stay on Craig, and he was riding so good, and he's the guy I had to beat today, so I really had to push hard to get it, and I just wanted to get it done today, and man, thank the Lord for this. This is amazing. just the past few years, it's just been consistency, and that's what I try to build our whole program off of, and line up every single race and get points. I've always knew I could be as fast as everybody else, and we put the whole thing together this year, and just being on that box. I mean, every race but 2 so far this year, so it's unbelievable to have this team around me and the support, and it's just amazing.
Well, we saw Craig DeLong check in a moment ago behind Jordan Ashburn, but what a ride. The 3:42 Rockstar Energy Husqvarna checking in and getting that checkered flag for a second-place finish. A little head nod right there from Craig. He's got to feel confident about this race.
I love the pit, and for some reason that's where I got my first win in XC2, and I've won here the last 3 years, and there's just something about this place, and I felt good coming in today, and I knew that I was the only one that could, give Jordan a run for his money and try to keep it to the next race. So I tried my best, and he got the best of me there about halfway through the last lap. In the Penton section, I hit a little bit of a wall and kind of got lazy, and he picked a good line and got around me, and then kind of recharged me a little bit, and just didn't quite have enough there at the end to give him a challenge, but I'm really happy.
Well, Ashburn takes first place. He also takes the national title. Craig DeLong finishes second, and Thad Duvall rounded out the top 3.
I don't know, I just didn't feel comfortable all day, and pretty disappointed. I switched a tire before the race, and I should have just stuck with what I know, and I don't know, just keep chugging along, and I don't think I was the fastest out of the group that we were in. I just kind of outlasted the guys, and I feel good. I feel like I could have gone another lap, but pretty. I mean, on the podium, you're getting sponsors up there, but at the end of the day, damn, I want to win bad.
Well, we take a look at the Specialized race recap, and how about this? And Ricky Towery, the waving of the green flag, and our XC1 Pro riders jockeying for position right there. A little dab by Jordan Ashburn, but it doesn't matter. The man wants it, and he went up and he got it. Great start, by the way, for the 989 of Thad Duvall, and the 314 gas ride of Grant Baylor had a great ride going early in this one, and of course, as you saw, Thad Duvall ended up third on the day. But Jordan Ashburn, Mr. Consistency, really never wavered throughout this race. He had the pressure from Ricky Russell. He had the pressure from Craig DeLong, and hats off to DeLong as well. The Rockstar Energy Husky rider got to lead this race for a little bit, an enormous confidence boost for Craig DeLong, and things get a little squirrely right there. But the 342 able to maintain and eventually get back around Toth. And right here, that's what we're talking about. 342, Rockstar Husky. Craig, hey, we like seeing you out front, man. Keep working. And I think that's going to be a thing we start to see on the regular. But as it got down to the nitty-gritty, the man just wouldn't be denied. Jordan Ashburn takes his second win of the season, and more importantly, the national championship. He answered to the pressure of Craig DeLong. He answered to the pressure of Ricky Russell, and when it was all said and done, the checkered flag flew, and the Magna 1 Motorsports Husqvarna of Jordan Ashburn is your national champion here in 2022. Congratulations to the Tennessee native. Love the tribute there to the Tennessee Titans. Cool stuff. Congratulations, champ. That's going to do it for us here at GNCC. I'm Mikey Waynes. We'll see you at the races.